Welcome back, Warriors. I'm your Quartermaster again, and it is great to see y'all. Welcome to my third video of my Weapon Workshop series. In case you're new here, in this series I look at all the relevant statistics for all the weapons we're supplied with for this 2042 conflict. Mind you, some of the info on the weapon crates aren't exactly accurate, so that's why I'm here, to test them out for you and get you the most accurate info available. On top of gathering info, I also give you my 3 suggested builds to take into the field for dealing with all manner of combat situations. Today, after being suggested by Eric Whitehead, we'll be taking a look at the first DMR available, the DM7. The DM7 is built off the DDM4V7 by Daniel Defense. It's chambered in the 556 by 45mm NATO round and has a base magazine of 15 rounds with one in the chamber. It has a fire rate of roughly 274 rounds per minute, slightly less than the listed 300 RPM on the weapon crate. Take these rates of fire with a grain of salt though, seeing as this is a semi-auto weapon, fire rate tests can vary slightly. The base DM7 deals 35 damage to the body from 0 to 74 meters and has a headshot multiplier of 1.9 instead of the standard 2. After that, damage drops to 26 beyond 75 meters. I wasn't able to find a reliable line of sight on my testing range to see further ranges, so I apologize if there's another damage range there. However, are you really going to be using this weapon at those ranges instead of just a sniper rifle? Because I certainly ain't. This weapon has a long barrel that drops our fire rate from 274 down to 243 rounds per minute. This will, of course, add time to our TTK, so keep that in mind. Using this info, this weapon has a base TTK value of 437 milliseconds to 657 milliseconds. Dropping just one headshot in there changes these times to 219 milliseconds and 438 milliseconds. The ammo conversion kits for this weapon are very straightforward. The CQC rounds increase our fire rate to 300 and reduce our range. Our base damage of 35 is only in play until about 30 meters. After that, between 30 and 74 meters, we hit 26 damage to the body. From 75 meters and beyond, we drop all the way down to 22 damage. This definitely makes these rounds less effective at range, so if you want consistency, the factory magazines are definitely the way to go. Using these statistics and assuming all body shots, we end up with a TTK between 400 milliseconds and 800 milliseconds. Mixing in just one headshot will change that to 200 milliseconds and 600 milliseconds. The high-powered rounds we're offered basically do what they say on the box. They boost our range by at least 33%, boosting our 3-shot kill range all the way out to 100 plus meters. Our recoil is also higher and the reload and rate of fire is a little slower. The TTK for the HP rounds is 441 milliseconds. Mixing in a headshot will drop that to 221 milliseconds. You likely won't be getting into fights with this further than 100 meters with the DM7, so I didn't really think it was worth the time to test that. Now, this weapon also has armor-piercing rounds. These rounds can damage all vehicles, although not to the same degree that explosives can, and they can punch through more forms of cover. However, in exchange for this, these rounds do less damage to infantry, have fewer rounds in the magazine, and reload slower. The AP rounds cost us 9 damage up close and reduce our range. This means that from 0 to 49 meters, we now only do 26 damage instead of 35. We then reach our minimum damage of 22 at just 50 meters. These bullets do just shy of 1 point of damage to jeeps and tanks, so not a ton, just like with the M5A3. Against infantry, the TTK values for these are around 750 to 1000 milliseconds. So right off the bat, you can see the minimum TTK for these bullets is almost double that of the factory magazines. Mixing in a headshot though will change those to 500 and 750 milliseconds. I'll also address the subsonic rounds that come with this weapon. They are very easy to cover. They have the exact same damage profile and ranges as the factory ammunition, along with having the same magazine size. The only difference is that these bullets can't be seen when fired and they have a bit slower bullet velocity and slower reload time. However, I'll note again, this ammo has a TTK value of 437 milliseconds to 657 milliseconds, and adding in a headshot changes these times to 219 and 438 milliseconds. Suppressors continue to make our bullets less lethal and continue to be inaccurately labeled. Between 0 and 74 meters, using a suppressor will drop your damage to 32, a loss of 4 points of damage, and increase the number of shots to kill by 1. From 75 meters onward, damage is 24, again increasing our TTK. Since we now need 4 shots up close and 5 shots far away, our TTK is anywhere between 657 and 876 milliseconds. Adding a headshot into that combat equation improves our TTK quite a bit, putting it between 438 and 657 milliseconds, obviously dependent on the range. The DM7 is a very precise weapon and kicks almost completely vertically. This makes it much more of a precision weapon than its full auto counterparts. This also makes the weapon very easy to handle. If you're a fan of semi-auto rifles, then the DM7 will give you some of the best recoil you've yet seen. As you'll notice, CQC rounds seem to have a higher magnitude of recoil, but that's attributed entirely to the higher rate of fire. Now let's get into the best builds for this starter marksman rifle. First, we have a close range spam cannon. We use the XDR Hollow sight, a more precise looking red dot sight, for a clear sight picture with a very small zoom. Next, I suggest using the CQC rounds for their increased rate of fire and ammo capacity. The rattlesnake grip should next be used, as this will be a very mobile class, so boosted accuracy in that area is great. We then finish the build off with the Arcom Tactical brand of muzzle brake for a boosted vertical recoil control while sacrificing some horizontal recoil. This first combo, the Spitfire, is built for those of you who like to push and play aggressively with semi-auto weapons. The XDR Hollow feels like the best close-range precision optic, as it's useful outside of CQC situations as well. The close combat rounds aren't great when pushing this weapon's ranges out further, but they give us a hefty rate of fire boost which can drop your target in the blink of an eye up close. The extra bullets and faster reload are nice too. In order to stay more effective when on the move, something helpful when attacking, the rattlesnake grip is best. Normally, I don't use muzzle brakes or compensators, but after testing out the recoil for these CQC mags, I definitely felt the vertical recoil dampening of the Arcom Tactical muzzle brake was needed. If you're someone who prefers strong semi-auto weapons, but you want to stay mobile with your team and provide close range fire support, then the Spitfire build is for you. Our second build today is more suited for defensive and objective, or for offering mid-range fire support during an offensive push. We use the UH1 Smart Optic for a slightly enhanced zoom while keeping the sight picture more focused than the AR Hollow. We next use standard issue magazines for our great base range and consistent killing potential. The Cobra grip will allow us to be more accurate when stationary, something very useful for defending an objective, and we then end with the extended barrel for boosted bullet velocity, making those further shots easier to hit and theoretically reducing our vertical recoil since we can't fire nearly as fast. My second combo, the Sentry, as I stated before, is great for defense or range support. The UH1 optic is more focused than the AR Hollow and provides some target information simultaneously. It also has greater zoom than the XDR Hollow, so it's better for medium ranges. I definitely think the standard issue mags are great for this build since their base range is well beyond what most people be fighting at anyways. With 3 shots per kill, the 15 round magazine can theoretically net you up to 5 kills before you have to reload, so long as you're precise. When playing defense, the Cobra grip is great for holding the line against the enemy, but even on a push, you shouldn't be in the enemy's face, so stopping momentarily to eliminate a target shouldn't really be an issue. Just watch out for those sniper glints. I chose the extended barrel to round this build off for a few reasons. The added bullet velocity helps take out distant enemies so that you need to lead your shots less. Also, since it drags down our rate of fire quite a bit, it limits how fast we can shoot, meaning our rifle has more time to recenter before each shot, meaning that our overall vertical recoil won't be as high. It doesn't reduce kick as much, but it reduces spam. Our final combo is a strict stealth build. We use the TV2X optic for a 2x zoom that won't have a scope glint. We next pop in those subsonic rounds for a reduction of tracer visibility. The ADR bipod is a great choice for a static stealthy defensive position, as well as keep your aim very stable while prone to make you that much harder to spot. We end with the 6KU suppressor to remove our minimap blip as well as muffle the sounds of our shots, making us even that much harder to pinpoint. If you're looking for a stealthy flanking class that still packs a punch, the Ghost is what you'll need. The TV2X optic will keep you far enough from enemies to make spotting you more difficult while you zoom in on them. The subsonic rounds may reduce our bullet velocity, but that's literally the only downside. Range and ammo capacity remain the same while offering no visible tracers from your weapon. The ADR bipod is a great choice for a stationary defensive position, but it's also great for going prone in the brush and taking out defenders during a push. The suppressor is just there for the stealth factor. I personally don't care for the damage reduction, which greatly increases our TTK values, but removing our minimap blip while also muffling our weapon sound can make it invaluable for flanking. If the enemy can't see or hear you, how can they find you before you drop them? This is definitely a support build. I wouldn't go off on a push hunting by yourself unless your squad is also running stealth weapons to clear the objective. And there you have it, folks. All the stats you need to know and the best builds to properly utilize your basic DM7. Combo 1 is best for close quarters, getting right into the enemy. Combo 2 is a better defensive build for holding an objective against multiple waves of hostiles or for offering fire support for a push. And build 3 is specifically for a stealth flank. What do y'all think of the DM7? How's it been treating you? Let me know down below. Also, just a disclaimer here, I've been testing out this style of training video for these last 3 videos, so please, if this style is what you prefer, let me know. I did my best to get the most accurate stats on my personal testing of these weapons. You can rest assured that these videos be more uniform moving forward from this point. So with that, if I did a good job today with this briefing, be sure to leave me a like and subscription to show the Major that you want more statistical briefings just like this one. And with that, I've been your Quartermaster, and until next time, I will see you later.